Hi, thanks for joining us. We're here with federal Liberal candidate Emma Harrison. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Emma, this is your first time in the studio, the bright lights in the big city, but not the first time, I'm sure, that you've been on camera. Emma, you're a newcomer to this upcoming election for the Government of Canada. Many people probably know you from being a Peterboroughrian and from the area, but tell us a bit about yourself, where you come from, your connections in town, and we'll get into why you want to be our next MP soon.
Certainly. So I'm from Selwyn, Ontario, obviously. Anyways, I'm from Selwyn. I'm a third-generation farmer. So my grandparents, Mildred and Walter, were beef farmers there. And then my dad and mom, the same thing. And my dad was a heavy equipment mechanic. He was in the Union of International Operators and Engineers. And my mom worked here at the medical center, just down the way, as an x-ray tech. And so I grew up here, went to high school in Lakefield, and then later went away to university for with lacrosse.
And we're going to talk about
that's
lacrosse.
A whole other thing.
Lacrosse, big. I haven't done lacrosse since I was on the Tyke All-Stars with Don Barry back in the 60s. But one of the things I want to ask, I'm going to be a little more specific. Selwyn, I can't stand it when they do the amalgamation, because I know there's a little village of Selwyn. I know you don't live there, but Smith, Ennismore, Lakefield.
Yes.
What part
so
of
I'm Smith.
Selwyn?
I'm Smith.
Okay.
I'm in between Lakefield and Buckhorn, so north.
And you still are you still actively involved in farming?
Oh, yes.
And tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so in 2021, we actually took over the farm from my mom, and we decided to go back to beef. My dad passed in 2010 of pancreatic cancer. So the farm kind of was rented out during that time, and then 2021 took it over. We seeded it back down to pastures, and now we have cattle. We started with just 3. That's all we could afford. And now we have close to 20. And chickens and,
It's a working farm, but is it a farm that's also, do you invite the public to
We do. So, yes, our farm we do farm, and then we have a lot of beautiful acreage of woods, lots, and streams and all those kind of things. And we do have people come out to the farm and do Christmas, things like that. We collect greenery and do flower, and we grow lots of flowers, actually. I forgot about that. Big part of it, actually. We grow tons of flowers. So we invite people out to arrange flowers and pick flowers.
And it's amazing how the Christmas greenery is such a big thing. Everybody in the city wants to know someone with a farm.
That's right. Yeah. And we do. We have plenty of cedar woods and pine and spruce and all those things. So it's lovely. And the kids come out. We do either like free or as low cost as we can. And we do it around Christmas time. It's really nice.
You know, as a candidate for the Liberal Party coming in, there's a new Prime Minister in place. We've got the Peterborough riding. You're part of that, and you're part of that rural community. It's really interesting having someone with a farming background, but we mentioned already the lacrosse background, sports. Tell us about the role lacrosse has played in your life.
Well, I started in high school under Fred Blows. He's really the person I owe my whole lacrosse career to. I love to run and things like that, and you're very fast. Lacrosse is a very hard sport to learn. It's not, it's a challenging one, and so he said, you're really fast and we can make this work. And I worked really hard under him. He started the Court lacrosse we have in Peterborough now. And so it was in its infancy when I started. I think we were only the 3rd team ever. Now it's taken off. It's huge, which is wonderful. It's a great sport. And then from there, I was fortunate to try out for Team Canada and made the team in 2023, played in the World Cup. It was in Towson, Maryland. And scholarship.
And you got to play in the U.S., so tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so I was actually hurt in the World Cup, and so I couldn't really run too much. So I actually had a year off, and then I actually still secured a scholarship to university, and it was wonderful. It was a great experience. I think there's a lot of women now who go from. It's it's a big deal here in Peterborough.
It truly is. It truly is a big lacrosse town, and that gave you the opportunity to live in the United States. Yes. So. Lots going on between the US and Canada right now. What are your thoughts on that experience living in the U.S.? What would that bring to you if you were to be elected as the next MP?
Yeah, I think it's, you really get to know somewhere when you are immersed and live within that space. And so for me, I understand the American people and, in this really difficult time for them as well and for here. And I'm hopeful that, it's a wonderful place to visit. But Canada is home. Canada is everything. And so I think from that experience, and I know that with every fiber of my being is Canada is home. Canada is everything. And so I learned that.
So Canada, we all love Canada, and but you're taking that extra step, getting involved in politics, helping hopefully to be a part of the leadership. What brought you to run in the election, and what brought you to run for the Liberal Party? How did that happen? Did someone reach out to you? Have you been involved in politics?
I think I've been privately always involved in politics because I think it's really important to stay involved and stay aware of what's going on. So for me, it was, I think, an easy choice at this time due to the gravity of the situation we find ourselves in. And we need everyone to take their role in this fight that we're finding ourselves in. And I didn't really expect this to be my role, but I'm thrilled to be representing the Liberal Party and hopefully representing this riding of Peterborough in Ottawa.
Now, I've got to ask, you've got a family. Yeah. Did you check in with the family?
Oh, gosh.
They're all on board?
Yes, of course. Yes, my husband, Connor, who's a paramedic here in Peterborough, very, very supportive. I think we all see kind of what's ahead of us and what's in front of us, and he truly believes that we all have to do our part in this. And so, yes. And we have lots of family support, and which we need. And, of course, definitely asked for it. We definitely talked about it.
I was thinking about when I've interviewed many candidates here, and I was thinking back, every candidate that's ever been elected in the recent past as an MP has had no political experience. So you're in good company.
Yeah, I think I think that we all have political experience, right? Like everything, but the roads we drive on are political. How we farm is political. So I think I'm not polished, nor am I perfect. But I think that there's space for everybody in politics because, we all are involved.
And it's, getting involved, and one of the things that we look at as elected officials, whether you're local, provincial, federal, are what are the issues that are most important. And what do you think is the most important for the city of Peterborough and the surrounding area in Peterborough riding?
I think that what is happening between us and the U.S. is unfortunately the biggest issue we're facing right now, and why I chose to be involved and I think supporting Prime Minister Carney in protecting Canada and maintaining our sovereignty is the most important issue facing us right now.
It's certainly come to the forefront. It wasn't an issue a month ago or 60 days ago, but it's come forward now. But for the local community, we have some challenges here in rural areas as well as urban areas with homelessness and drug addiction. What can the federal government do to help support that? What's your party planning to do? They've been there while we've fallen into some of this, but what do you see would change with a new prime minister that could help with that issue?
Well, the main issue still is, I will circle back. It is, the issue is the United States and the place we find ourselves now, and the threats where the tariffs and all of those things are going to trickle down into our smaller communities. And under Prime Minister Carney, I believe he is the leader for this time, and we need.
So when you look at homeless shelters, a lot of people come in from Selma and take advantage. The city of Peterborough and the county work together to help solve that. We do have some funding programs the federal government's had. Do you see that as something that you're going to be able to help bring to the community? Do you see?
I certainly hope so.
Peterborough has more, and is there anything in the current Liberal Party that has changed that's going to help address some of the local issues we have?
I certainly hope so. It's currently a very big issue that we're facing, and I fully support. We need to have some solutions to the problems that people in this community are facing. And you mentioned people coming in from Selwyn, and our community is very vast, right? We have a huge rural population, and absolutely, I support anything that will benefit our community moving forward, especially the people, facing and experiencing homelessness.
I want to ask, the climate, or I'm not going to say climate change, the climate of politics at the federal level changed when Prime Minister Trudeau stepped down. Did you have interest in running before that? Had you always been interested? Or when the new Prime Minister came in and the tide seemed to change politically, did that make a difference to you?
Certainly. Prime Minister Carney is the person for this time. He is the leader we deserve. He's the leader that we need. Yes, unequivocally, he is definitely the person that I would like to work with.
All right. And it has been a tumultuous time politically, and things have certainly turned when it comes to, as I've said to other candidates here, at one time it looked, everybody's talking about the next prime minister, and it would be a conservative person. And I don't think you can take it for granted. There's, the polls are showing things neck and neck, and I think we'll see. But what will you be doing to convince people in the Peterborough riding to vote for you? Like you as a candidate, you obviously support the prime minister and part of the job. What is going to be your priority, and what will you do for the citizens?
Well, this is a 35-day job interview, right? That is how I view this, is that will I be the person who will advocate for this community? We need that. We need someone who will work in a nonpartisan way for the people who either have voted for me or have not. That is the job. And we need we need a strong voice and an independent voice that is willing to go out and listen and hear the concerns of the community and then advocate strongly in Ottawa. So I work for the community. That will be the job. The MP works for this riding.
And for your past experience working on the farm, and I'm sure you've done some other things too, what skill sets will you bring to help do what you've just said you're going to do, is bring the interests of this community to the party?
I think that, as a farmer, you work all the time, and you work in any conditions, very stressful, very chaotic. It can be. It's not always chaotic. But I think that's a really important aspect of it, is being able to work under great deals of stress for long periods of time. And then also the empathy that you develop as a human being within society and the experiences that you have. Because that's what we need. We need really empathetic voices and people who, are willing to also understand and listen. Maybe I don't have the same lived experience as someone else, but being able to be open to listening and understanding, and then again advocating for the people of the community. And
if you were elected, you've got to spend a lot of time in Ottawa. What are your thoughts about Ottawa?
Oh, I love Ottawa. Okay. Ottawa's a fabulous city. It's bustling. It's beautiful. It has everything a person could want, really. Yeah.
And a very political town as well. When we look at elections, and we obviously have a flurry of them. We just got through a provincial election. And you've mentioned Mark Carney, and a well-known name. He's known on the global stage. What do you like most about him as continuing to be prime minister? He's there for now. Things will change, could change after the election. What do you like most about the current leader of the Liberal Party?
I think due to his vast experience in economics is exactly the person you would hope would raise their hands and come to the call to be our leader during this time. And also he is just a distinguished leader. And I think that you can see it and you can feel it, and he brings a sense of calm, and which is what we need right now. We need that, because it's a pretty scary time for a lot of people. And so, that's one of the many things.
And he has about, as an elected official, he has about the same experience you have. So you're starting on a similar plane there. We just have about 30 seconds left. What's the one thing that you would hope to do to benefit this community if you're elected?
Is to be aware, pay attention, listen to people with the lived experience, listen to the experts who are doing the work already in the community, and work tirelessly and advocate for them over and over and over again, because I don't know everything, and we have somebody who are already doing the work and within the community working with homelessness and all of those kind of things. And that's my job, is to listen, understand, and take it back, and then support our community in any way that I can through the federal level.
Well, Emma, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. Wish you all the best on the campaign trail. When I head home today, I'm sure I'll see a sign on Fred Blows front yard, along with others. I have a neighborhood that supports a lot of parties. But thank you for joining us.
And
we'll see you next time. And we'll see you next time here on Your Vote.